Hey guys, it's that time again. Day 3 of Relative Race.
It was another good episode. They keep raising the bar higher and higher.
And it keeps giving me questions that I need answered.
Yes, I think we are just as excited as the teams are to be able to see who they meet next because of their stories.
Yes, and I keep telling Trisha, or I told her this evening, that Team Black, Christine and Pam, their story is so interesting and intriguing to me. Every episode, I'm guessing that,
what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Who are they going to meet? What are they going to learn? Their story is definitely becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think so for me too. So, something a little bit different happened with us today. This is actually the first episode that we watched it live.
Yes, it is.
And so, I would just like to say that I don't like the beginning where they show what's gonna happen in that episode.
So you hadn't seen that clip on social media? Or do you avoid it?
I avoid social media, so I don't know what happens. I like it to be where when I watch it, it's the first time I've seen it.
Any of it. Okay.
And so, sure, it didn't share
didn't give
the
anything.
details.
Yeah.
I get that, but I don't like seeing they met this person or they saw this. I don't like that.
Who did you see that they met in the clip?
Jarrell.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then met his cousin. Mm-hmm. And then I don't remember who the other one was.
I think that was the only one. The other ones, they showed the back of their head, so you really couldn't tell.
Yeah. So,
but
anyway, that's just my own personal preference. I'm sure the very kind and good folks over at Relative Race are not going to change their production for me.
Because they've been doing that for a couple of years now.
Yeah. So anyway, good episode.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a good episode. It started out them with the relative that they met last week, the day before. So they're all, still with that relative. And Team Black, Christine, one of the twins, they're in Colorado and she has altitude sickness because they've been in Colorado this whole time.
Which happens a lot for people who don't live in those higher altitudes.
Right. And
I always thought that I was going to get sick when we went to Salt Lake City for a roots test. 2018 and 2019?
19 and 20.
19 and 20?
Because then the world shut down. Right? The world shut down after our last trip to Salt Lake City.
Right, because 21 was the first virtual one.
Correct.
You're right. But yeah, I thought I was going to have altitude sickness because I'd never been anywhere in that high of altitude,
me either.
And I turned out to be okay.
Yeah, but it's a real thing.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if Salt Lake City is higher than Denver
I think Colorado's higher.
And
I'm not sure.
I know Salt Lake City sits down, so there's higher.
You could go up, but we didn't venture up anywhere.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of people when they go, they get sick, and I didn't really understand it at first. But altitude sickness it's real, and it's for real. You feel horrible. She looked horrible.
Well, don't say it like that.
Oh. I'm sorry, Christine.
Just say she didn't look well or something. It's not like you made it sound like she looks horrible all the time.
No, I meant because she was sick.
It's the way you said it.
I'm sorry. You can edit that part out.
No, that was okay. Yeah, she was sick. And you could tell it. But it has me scared because we're talking about going skiing at some point for a vacation.
True.
And I don't know if I want to go now.
I think we'll go. And if you get sick, I'll take care of you.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay. So, yeah, that altitude sickness is a real thing. So, but by the end of the day, she looked to be better. I thought she did. Looked better. And so I guess Grand Junction is a little lower altitude. So
yeah, I'm guessing. But she seemed to look better, feel better. She was, moving a little quicker. So I'm not sure how long it lasts, if it lasts the whole time you're there, if you have to be like at some altitude before you get it. I'm not sure, but I'm glad she's feeling better.
Yeah, man. So when they were talking, her and Craig, I think that's his name, we found out, if you remember last week, we talked about whether or not they had, sister or another sibling.
Yes.
And Trisha said it was a triplet.
I did.
I said no.
I watched a lot of soap operas, so I used to.
And so they found out that they actually have two sisters.
Yes. And Craig showed them a picture of their younger sister, Brenda, this morning before they left the house. So he had pictures of their mom and of their mom with this younger sibling.
And then the other teams, they got a chance to look at more pictures. I think Team Green got a new photo album to put pictures in. And so, all that kind of happened as they were waiting for the text from Dan.
From Dan.
Yep. So after they got their text, from Dan, it's go time, right?
Yeah, the game day has started.
Yep, and Team Green, it won last week.
Yes, so they got a benefit,
right? And their benefit was they get to stop all three teams for 5 minutes.
Yes, sometime between Dan would send them a text to pull over sometime before they take their city selfie. So they all got the text. They all had to pull over, which is strange because usually they had to, in past seasons, the benefit was just for one team to pull over. But this year, all three teams had to pull over, and they all did, all of them, I think, but Team Black. Team Black sat in the car, but Team Blue got out and did yoga, and Team Red got out and practiced taking their selfies.
Yeah. And the funny thing to me about Jarrell, because they were going to an area that they were familiar with, it's close to where they live.
Yes.
It is the final words. You just can't say words like this. He said, "Oh, this is going to be a piece of cake." And I'm like, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, because it's an area that they know. They're from that state. So he, was confident.
Yeah. Anybody that starts off saying this is going to be a piece of cake, it's not going to be a piece of cake.
Yeah, something usually happens that's out of your control that makes you eat those words.
Yes, for sure. For sure. No, they're going to have issues. So they made it to their cities.
Yes.
And they got their challenge.
So
did you like that? Have you ever wanted to do that? It's called a Zorb.
I have wanted to get in one, yes, but I'm not sure if I want somebody to push me.
But have you seen the game that they play? Like, it's a game where like multiple people are in the Zorbs and they run and bounce into each other.
Well,
and they go flying.
First time I ever saw this was on Relative Race. I think it was season 5 or 6 when they did it. It was not this same challenge, but they had the big balls that you had to climb in. So I've actually never seen it outside of Relative Race. So I'm not familiar with that game.
Yeah, I've actually wanted to, try it, but at my age now, I'm not trying to do that.
I'm just like, I think it would be more challenging for me to get out of it than to get in it and do whatever you're supposed to do, because me getting out of it would just be the challenge and everybody would be laughing at me and it would just not be fun.
I can just see myself on the space where you get in it. I feel like it's gonna roll over on that side. I'm gonna fall, hit my head, and get a concussion.
That's a little dramatic, but
you're supposed to run on it to where the holes are on the side. Yeah, but everybody's not good at it, as we can tell
from the show.
That
you're supposed to look
what's
like
Darrell's wife's name?
I don't remember. It starts with an A.
Well, she went in it and she was just flying all over the place.
Because the theory is that you're supposed to look like a hamster running in the little ball thing that they do. So you're supposed to be, upright and still moving. But she was all over the place, on her back, on her stomach, rolling around in it. It was,
Yeah, you're not even supposed to have somebody push you in it. You running
Do it.
makes
Make it
go, and then how fast you running makes it go faster or slower or whatever. And so Jarrell pushing her didn't help.
No, she was flying all over the place.
That was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, the teams had 10 minutes and they had pins like a bowling alley set up. So the teams had 10 minutes to roll down and knock over pins, and they counted the pins up to until the 10 minutes was up.
And the way that what's Team Green's what's the wife's name?
I probably should know that too.
Where's our list?
You didn't
names?
print out something nice and pretty for us this year, so I don't have it. And I've only been writing down who they meet, so I only know the adoptive people's names by heart right now.
Well, I thought it was fantastic the way they ran into the gym and the way Superman jumped in there.
Yeah, she was serious.
Look, if you watch Relative Race, you go to the challenge and watch that. I mean, she flew
in there.
That was fantastic.
Was
I thought that was funny. And he did it too when it was his turn. Steven.
Yeah, Steven.
Yeah, okay. So look. All right. So for the people at Relative Race, the contestants, if you're listening to this and I don't remember your name, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I promise
we're going to learn
that next Sunday we're going to know your name and I'm going to have a nice little printout of everybody's name.
Yes, thank you.
I've been busy.
Well, yes, we have.
So
yes, we have.
Anyway, so yeah, I thought the challenge this was a fun challenge.
It was.
I think,
it was.
But they got they had to knock down as many pins, like you said, in 10 minutes.
Yes.
And so they were keeping count, but we don't know what it means.
Yeah, all we know is how many each team ended up with. So I'm not sure if like the top team ends up with something or everybody ends up with something, but the top team ends up with the best something. We won't find out until next week.
Right. Which I originally said, well, it has to be something for day 10.
Yes.
But then the first two challenges didn't have anything that kept points. So it was just kind of odd. And Roostec has done that. Relative Race has done that before where you
don't know.
win something and it goes towards the last day.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to get some kind of advantage getting to their relative's house today, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, so we'll find out next week what that was all about. So
yeah, they get done with the challenge, and it was only 10 minutes. So no matter what, the time stopped in 10 minutes. So then everybody got their address to their relative's house, and you get in the car, and now you have to figure out, do you want to use the map or do you want to stop and ask somebody on the way?
Yes, and come to find out, Mr. This is going to be a piece of cake had issues finding their place.
They did. They stopped and asked a male person for directions, and it turned out that they didn't give the best directions to their relative's house.
Wasn't they just in a totally wrong direction?
Yes, they got turned around. They went in the wrong direction, and then they had to turn around and go all the way back the other direction and then find their relative's house.
See there? Never say this is going to be a piece of cake.
Never.
It happens
not on Relative
all
Race.
the time. You can't say that. You just can't.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting that Team Green chose to use back roads to get to their destination versus taking the highway like normal.
Yes, they did. They mapped out potential cities that they could go to the night before, and they looked at the map and they decided that they were going to use back road, country road types because they thought they would be less busy.
Which is usually true.
Correct, but you can't go as fast on a country road as you can a highway, the 65, 70, 75 miles per hour. So I personally wouldn't have done that. And I was like, why would you do that?
Well, it's certainly a risk. And if you're on this small country road where you can't pass and you end up getting behind a 18-wheeler, a farm truck, those big old hay things that they have. Mm-hmm. We drive on country roads all the time. We You can
And
get
we
stuck
hate
behind those
getting behind
things.
those.
And so, yeah, it was definitely a risk.
But on the other hand, they were leaving from Amarillo and they are from Texas. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe they're familiar with this area and know that this would be the quickest way. So I'm not sure if they really thought this was a good idea or if they were just taking a chance.
Yeah, and really sometimes those county roads, it can be longer in distance,
Yes.
right? In that. And so maybe they found another way or something. I don't know.
But the challenge is that they had somewhat of an issue finding a sign when they first got to town because they were on a back road.
Yeah, there's nothing in the middle of the field.
For their city selfie. So that took a little longer than being on a highway and you can see buildings and stuff like that. So we'll see.
But they didn't struggle too much when they got to the city and they took their selfie to get to the relative's house. They seemed to do okay.
Yeah.
And so did Team Black and Team Blue. I don't think there were any big
no big issues.
problems.
No big issues until after the challenge.
Yeah. Team Red was the only one with the navigation issues.
Yeah, because Team Blue, of course, they stopped a police officer, so they got directions as well.
And we talked about it. I don't know if it was the first episode, but we talked about the risk you run of stopping and asking someone.
Yes.
Where a street is.
Yeah.
Because they can give you the wrong direction very easily.
Yes, they could mishear you and they give you directions to another street, or they just don't know, period, and you have to ask somebody else, or they give you the wrong directions to begin with.
Yeah. And if you're not good with maps, it'll take, even if you had a city map, which I don't think they have city maps, do they? If they
unless they stop and
they
get
would have to
one.
stop at some kind of rest stop or something. Anyway, if you can't do that or you don't know how to, it may take you even longer to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to figure where you are currently and where you're going.
And how to get there, yeah.
And it might be quicker to, ask somebody.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
still
true.
It's still risky.
It's risky. It just is, because you just never know.
Yeah. So let's talk about who people met.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just start right off with Team Black, because to me, they're the interesting story. So, like I said earlier in the day, Pam and Christine figured out or learned that they have two sisters.
Yes.
I think it's Brenda
And Monica.
Monique.
Okay.
And they got to meet Brenda.
Yes.
Okay, these names. I did this the other day.
You did.
Brenda.
Yes, they got to meet their younger sister, Brenda, that they had just seen a picture of earlier in the day before they left Cousin Craig.
Yeah, which was awesome. I'm so glad that they got to meet her right away.
Yes, and their sister Brenda knew about them. They knew that their mother had placed them for adoption. She was able to tell the twins that, their mother loved them, that she thought about them every day, and that was one of the things that she thinks is bringing her peace now, to know that they're okay and that they're together.
Yeah, and Trisha said that she heard them say that Brenda is the youngest child. I didn't hear that. And so I'm still trying to figure this whole story out, with their mom and these two sisters now, and where do they fit together, that kind of thing. It's like it could be a number of things. Yeah,
because the night before last week, Craig told them, your mom had these 3 kids, so we knew that there was another sister out there. And then this morning, he said that she showed him a picture, and he said, "Oh, I know exactly who that is. That's your younger sister, Brenda." And then he went on to say, "You have another sister, Monique." So Craig has been able to give all this information. But I just think that information that Brenda was able to give the twins about their mom, and that she thought about them and loved them, is information that they've been wanting.
And she had like a copy of a Facebook post that she, posted, that Brenda posted, telling the girls, happy birthday.
Right.
Hopefully we meet, all that good information.
Yeah.
And the other sister chimed in the comments and said, yes, we hope to meet. So again, knowing that people knew you and they're looking for you and they always had you in mind, it just gives you that gratification, and you can say, okay, somebody was looking for me.
And not only that, but Brenda gave them pictures of them at the hospital.
Yeah, baby pictures.
Like
that
infant
they had never
pictures.
seen.
They had never seen these pictures because these are the pictures that were taken at the hospital. And that was way before they were adopted. So she said that they, of course, had never seen pictures of them that young, and their adopted parents had never seen those pictures as well. So the fact that their mom kept those pictures in a special place, and Brenda kept them after their mom passed away with the hope that she would give them to them, just speaks volumes on their relationship.
And they wouldn't have gotten those pictures if the sister didn't go clean out the house and keep everything.
That is correct.
So, we talk about,
we do,
especially for beginning, researchers, and, we always say, talk to your oldest living elders.
Yes, they know the story.
Yes, and we also say,
Cousin Craig.
Yes, and we always say, when you have a family member pass away and you go clean out their stuff, just don't throw that stuff away.
No, go through it.
Go through it. And if there's some families you got people who don't want to do it, you should go do it.
Yeah, if find the person that is going to go through it and look through it and find the good stuff, the important information, those pictures.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what you're going to find. So, that was Team Black. Team Blue, JT met his first cousin.
Yes.
Which I think they look alike.
They did look alike.
Not as much as the brothers, of course.
But you could tell that they were related.
But you could tell, for sure, yeah. Austin was his name, yes. And, they seem to have just an instant connection, too, just like with the brothers.
With the brothers, yes. And Austin was also able to tell JT that he has a biological sister on his mom's side, Brandy.
Yeah, he didn't see that coming at all.
No, because this is his cousin on his dad's side. So I didn't anticipate him, knowing anything about his mom's side or anything like that. But it turned out that he grew up with Brandy.
Right. Yes. So, I found that to be interesting. And the people he just continues to meet, and I was telling Trisha during this episode, it's like, I just don't, these are out of the seasons that I've seen. I just hadn't seen so many people within one show meet such close relatives so quickly. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing siblings and first cousins and things like that. And, in some seasons, people meet an aunt or a third cousin or, something kind of far away. I don't know.
It's not towards the end of the series.
Right. It just seems like they are meeting
quickly.
People really quickly, which is fantastic. I love it.
The only other season I can think of that's like this was season 5 when Team Green met his father and he ended up being his driver on day 1.
The boys,
Team Green. And then on that same season, the sisters, Team Red, the oldest one, I can't remember her name, the tallest one, she met her brother on day 1 and then her mom and dad on day 2 and 3. And then, but other than that, you're right. Yeah,
that was just, yes. But it feels like this season that all 4 teams are doing
right.
You know what I'm saying? Except for maybe Jarrell. But
his time is coming.
Yeah, he's going to meet a bunch of people here real soon.
Yeah.
So anyway, who haven't we talked about?
Team Red, Jarrell.
Okay. Yeah, Team Red Jarrell met his second cousin.
Yeah, Charles.
And the good thing with Charles is that he actually, lived close and played with his mom.
Yes. They grew up together as children. They lived next door to each other. So he was able to give him all this information about his mom, and he was able to verify that Jarrell's mom is in fact still living. So whether on this race or not, he'll be able, hopefully, to find her and meet her.
Well, I want to see that happen.
Well,
so
I agree.
I'm really
see it on the show.
I'm really hoping that, he doesn't, and him and his wife don't, get put out of the race before.
Because they already have one strike.
Yep. I hope they don't. I want to see it. I know he's going to do it.
Yes, I want to see it too. But just to know that he's going to have that opportunity, like I said, on or off the show, I think that for him means a lot.
Well, I really hope if we don't get to see it, that he goes on Facebook, or something on the Fans of Relative Racial Facebook page. Yeah. Hopefully he'll go and tell that story in some kind of way once the season is over.
Yeah, they do the Where Are They Now with the teams on Relative Race. So maybe they will find out more information about him later on.
Yeah.
And then there's Team Green. Steven met 3 of his cousins on his mom's side. And what I thought was really interesting about this is that they took him to the movies. And he really thought he was going to see a movie. And they come in, of course, it's just them. And they did a video montage of all of his family that they had pictures of, his grandparents and his great-grandparents and cousins and things like that. And I thought that was just the sweetest thing for them to do.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So they were really emotional and happy about meeting each other. So that was really cool. Yes, I really did like that.
I did. And I think the takeaway from that is that Phillip is going to do that for me and our family for my 45th anniversary / birthday.
Okay. So, anyway, I might be busy. So,
okay, thanks.
So, yeah, it's time to get down to the game part, the competition part, and it's time to learn who won first place and second, third, and fourth, or whatever. So, we know that the first place prize is... What's the benefit?
They learn where they're going today.
That's
so
right.
They can map it out and be ready to go
the night
tomorrow.
Before. The team that came in first place was Team Green. I forgot that. Yes, for the third time in a row.
And they did really good. They only went 1 minute over their allotted time.
Yeah,
which is great.
Going in that back road.
They did right.
It helped them.
It worked.
Maybe they got lucky and didn't, have to, get behind, hay trucks.
Yeah, they didn't get behind any chicken trucks.
Yeah, for real. That's what we get.
I'm gonna say y'all can tell where we live.
Yes, we drive behind chicken trucks all the time. I always let my windows up so that feathers won't start coming into the car. And just pray that one don't try to commit suicide.
Oh no!
Try to get away. Yes. Okay, that's enough of that. Some people, they don't know what we're talking about. So, okay. And then, so we did find out that second and third place was really close.
Oh, yeah. Again. They were 60 seconds. Team Black came in second. And then that means Blue came in third place. So that leaves...
Which means Team Red came in last and got their second strike.
Yes. On day 3.
Yep. So now Team Black has a strike.
Yes.
And then Team Red has 2 strikes.
2 strikes.
So I'm worried now.
I am too.
Is this the earliest that someone hasn't gone? Like, technically, if next week, if they get a strike, they gone.
Yeah.
Has this happened before?
That a team has 2 strikes in day 3? Yes, it has happened before.
But did they leave?
They made
quickly?
it to day 6, I think.
Oh, I'm crossing my fingers for Team Red because I hate seeing the team go out this early. We haven't even made it halfway through the show yet.
We haven't. And Team Green has won every day.
Yes.
They have gotten every advantage, and they are just really doing well. They are doing really, really, really well. And the Black team, they came from the bottom. And they ended up in second, so that's always good.
Yeah, they did real good. But again, don't say this is going to be a piece of cake.
That's like a curse.
Yep, that's what happens.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week, especially with Team Green. They have an advantage. They already know where they're going. They already have their map mapped out. So I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens, to see who they meet, to continue to find out about their families and their stories. This season is really good.
It is. I'm enjoying it. All right, so we really appreciate you guys.
I'm sorry. They also find out next week, about the pins from the challenge, because it's going to be something good.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because I forgot. All right, guys.
It's past my bedtime. I'm sorry.
Let's try this again. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, talking about relative race. We're really enjoying the show. We hope you are too. If you're listening and you've never seen it, go to BYU TV and you can download the app. You can watch it live or you can watch it later on.
Anytime.
It's a really good show, good family show. So we appreciate you guys for hanging with us. All of our contact information, social media will be down in the description box. And I think that's it, right?
That's it.
All right, guys. We'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks,
Take it easy.
guys.